Welcome one and all to another amazing night here in Tranquility.
We absolutely are in for a treat of a match here tonight, no question about it.
And the grenades from Pomku eliminate everybody on the field.
Now between something as well is going to be a fly as a death block them, and it's going to be huge. Fighting three.
The double kill with the Bastion ulti? Alright, I see you guys.
For B-Well, look to find a stick there, finds the stick, they find two with it!
Those who find the picks will save the fight, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
And Cam with the four-man punch off the map!
Experience tranquility.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tranquility Gaming's Transcendence Tier feature match. I am Mr. Yeti. Joining me tonight is Needle. Needle, it has been a long time, my friend. How are you doing?
It has been a while. I'm doing good, Yeti. I appreciate it. How have you been doing?
I've been great, man. We talked about it a little bit before this cast got going, but we've both been here for pretty much forever. We know Tranquility's history in and out, so nobody I'd be happier casting with than you. But I would say that to anybody. Anyway, moving on. Great matchup coming up here tonight. We got Hades at 0-3, looking to right the ship here, taking on Wyverns, looking strong this season at 2-1. Needle, can you tell us about these teams a little bit here tonight?
Yeah, so Hades, not the best start to the season for them, right? They're down 0-3. Wyverns, good start to the season for them. But notably, both these teams have received a loss recently from Hammerhead. Hammerhead seems like a pretty good team right now, and both these teams lost to Hammerhead 3-1 within the past 2 weeks. Both of them played them. So the 0-3-2-1, it might be a little misleading, you know? So we might expect for Wyverns to just come out and win this game, but it could be a lot closer than people are expecting.
Exactly. Wyverns have had kind of an interesting season so far. They've actually lost all of their matches by a score of 3-1. So they're obviously taking some maps off people. They're applying some pressure. They're not just rolling over and losing quick 4-0s or anything like that. They have been putting up some decent competition, it looks like here. But Wyverns, obviously, a great start so far, being at 2-1. For them, any specific player you might be watching here, I know who I'm watching on Wyverns.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal it from you. Fungin. Fungin, I've heard is a pretty good main support player from what I've heard, which makes me excited because I'm a main support enjoyer myself. So I'm interested to see how he plays.
Fungin, fantastic support player, no question about it. Although from Hades, taking a look here, they have Rune on the tank here. Rune, a very aggressive and assertive tank player we've seen a lot from in the replay so far this season. They tend to run it down pretty hard, which can be a good thing or a bad thing at times. But hey, you know what? It certainly makes for some exciting Overwatch to watch.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I think I'm looking forward to a player on Hades. I'm looking forward to their flex support, actually. Flaming Fury.
Sure.
I've seen this guy play. I've seen him in ranked too. I've seen him in ranked before I saw Hades play. I'm like, this guy's pretty good. And then I was surprised to find out when he was on a team on Hades in Transcendence tier. I'm like, this guy's only Masters? He's not GM? Because his mechanics are amazing. So I'm excited to see how he does tonight.
Now let's go ahead and take a look at the first map we're going to be getting into tonight between these two teams. It starts off on Busan. We head over to Busan to kick this thing off here on King of the Hill or Control, however you want to phrase it. It's all the same. Win 2 points out of 3. You walk away with that first map point. Busan, an interesting one, Needle. It's one of those great things about Control maps is the variety of compositions you can run. You see the huge differences between all these different ones.
Yeah, you do. And I'm wondering if these teams are actually going to show us that variety or not. Because Hades, their primary comp that they play is Reinhardt. The majority of the time, they're going to try to play Reinhardt when they can. And I think you can get away with playing Rein on at least 2 of the points here on Busan. You can definitely get away with it on Mecha Base. And I think you could even try it on something like Sanctuary or Downtown. I think it's flexible there. So I'm interested to see if we actually are going to get that variety of Hades from Hades. I would expect it from Wyverns, though.
And the nice thing about the current state of the meta too is we are seeing a decent amount of variety. You know, even at the top end of Overwatch right now, I've heard of all sorts of crazy things coming through the pipeline. People running Winston even, which is just absolutely wild to think about that Winston is relevant again. But here we are, I guess. Potentially relevant. Maybe not at the level that I play at. Probably not at the level I play at. I am very much gold. But that being said, these teams are very much not gold. They are in our Masters division. So I would expect them to bring out some interesting choices here and a lot of versatility from these teams. And we're seeing it right off the bat here, both running very different approaches to this game.
Yeah, and the Winston comp you were talking about coming out for Hades here, potentially. Wyverns, though, if they are actually going to stick this, Junker Queen is not a look that you see, even though the meta is pretty open right now. I feel like Junker Queen is not one of the most popular... Oh, never mind. They're just playing Winston. It's just a Winston mirror.
We run it back down on Winston. I missed him so much. I miss Winston gaming. And here we are. We are back in, and Hades and Wyverns out the gate here on Sanctuary, meeting in the middle here. The fight already commencing with Poppy getting in there and applying some early damage, but Saya is going to be the first to go down on a dive in from Brightside, taking down the Lucio player here for Hades. There it goes, Brightside into the back line there, finds Luna Mare, and that's going to be Brightside on the cleanup duty for Wyverns, and a quick, indecisive fight win, and they will take first cap here.
Yeah, and a rough first fight there for Hades, Saya going down early for them. But you're kind of happy to lose that fast, though. Wyverns are not going to get that much percentage on the board at all. Hades can come back fast. They have a pretty fast composition. And no ultimates even close to being online here for Wyverns. So it's pretty much another neutral fight here, except Wyverns, they have the better positions this time.
Wyverns will pick it off here, being able to stage accordingly here. They are setting up. Rune looking for an opportunity to get in there. Fungin speeding in the team here for the Wyverns. Brightside got low, was forced out, still hanging in there with the song being pumped out by Fungin there, trying to keep them up. We see Flaming Fury right now throwing those kunais down the shooting lane there, but it's going to end up being Trisky taking out Lunamare there. So Trisky answers with kunais of her own, and that is going to be looking like more than likely here another fight. Oh, but Hades is hanging in there, and Wyverns are very low here, Needle.
Yeah, I think Hades are trying to stabilize a little bit. They only lost one player. They're going to be coming back in fast here. Pretty close to their support ultimates as well. But didn't you see me? Has the pulse bomb, looking for it, has to back away.
Backs away with that pulse bomb, has to use the recall too. Sound barrier now invested by Saya. Hades committing hard into this fight here, trying to flip this point over. Sound barrier now in from Fungin as Brightside cleans up Flaming Fury here with that Primal Rage. We're watching Altair right now. A very erratic aim, a lot more confusing than the aim I can pull off in my rank, but nonetheless, very, very strong fight there for Wyverns. I don't know that they've lost. Have they had a character? Have they had one of their players go down yet?
I'm not sure if they have, but it's potential that it's... I believe that they might this fight. They used 3 ultimates to win that last fight. Hades, they only invested the sound barrier. They have the Kitsune Rush online. Trisky can match it, sure. But after that, Hades have other tools to still win out the fight. They have the Primal, they have the Pulse Bomb. The Pulse Bomb goes wide, but they're still holding on to that Primal.
Pulse Bomb there, unfortunately missing for Poppy. We're watching the Kitsune Rushes here going to be matched. More than likely, Flaming Fury has not used their Kitsune Rush yet, but it doesn't look like they're going to need it, as Rune is cleaning up the support line there for Wyverns, and that is going to be a very good, very needed fight there for Hades.
Yeah, and I love Flaming Fury's decision there not to use the Kitsune Rush. He knows that they're down 99-0. They're going to need to win get some easy fight wins with only one ultimate, and Kitsune Rush is one of the best ultimates to do that with. Very, very powerful ultimate for Hades here. But Wyverns, they have some tools to zone it off. They have the overclock here, but they might disengage with it.
We see the brief Tracer duel there between Didn't You See Me and Poppy, with recalls being invested there. Altair is being dove on very hard. Rune trying to prevent that overclock from becoming a problem. Great job by Rune zoning out Altair there, and we do see that Wyverns are just going to back this up. They heard that Kitsune Rush, and they got out of there real quick.
Yeah, and Wyverns, Hades still have counterplay to what they want to do, right? Altair has the overclock online, but Rune is holding this Primal. He will zone off the overclock if it comes out, and Wyverns should know that. They might have to play a little bit slow, but they're coming up close on the beat. Sai has it to match. This fight's going to be interesting.
This fight is going to be really interesting. Didn't you see me with that Pulse Bomb, a very important ultimate here, looking to find a target, will not, but Rune will find Altair. Sound Barrier in now from Saya, both teams investing Sound Barriers here, with Fungin matching Saya there for Wyverns. Brightside right now with that Primal Rage of their own, diving in, going after the targets on Hades, but Flaming Fury is going to win the duel of the Kirikos. And that is going to be, it looks like another fight win here for Hades. But Fungin does take out Poppy on the exit here, it looks like. But it actually looks like, pardon me, they are going to re-engage and stick with this fight needle.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty poor decision from them here. I don't know, it's going a little bit back and forth. But I think Hades are happy to get some of the ult charge, like building back after they used a lot of ultimates in the last fight. Last fight, by the way, Hades played it beautifully. Rune zoned off the overclock very well with his Primal Rage. And Fungin's beat came out a little bit too late, could not save Altair. And it just fell to pieces. Flaming Fury, he's really close to the ultimate here. Trisky, she has it first. Fury needs to get it online if Hades want to win this fight.
We see Lunamare as well with an overclock. Didn't you see me forced to recall away from Rune here? Here's the overclock from Lunamare. Could win the fight right here for Hades. And that's Brightside being taken down. No tank now for Wyverns. And Wyverns, despite being up 99-0 to start here, now are absolutely on their heels as they try to stabilize out. We see we see again Trisky in there. Trisky taken down by Flaming Fury. Didn't you see me trying to turn this around on the Tracer, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And a great turnaround there from Hades, and it looks like they have Sanctuary.
Yeah, and Brightside just doing his best, trying to stall it out for his team, but it's looking hopeless here. And Hades with the 99-0 comeback. Really, really well played by them. I think there were a few mistakes by Wyverns in there, but Hades, they managed the ult economy really, really well. And I think it all tied into when Flaming Fury saved his ultimate at when the point was going to flip, when Hades it wasn't confirmed that Hades were going to win the fight to flip the point. And you were talking about, you're like, Flaming Fury not match the Kitsune Rush. And that decision, I think, let them get the snowball going and let them turn it around. Really, really good discipline from him. And now we're going to see Hades return to what they usually play. They're going to be playing the Reinhardt on this point.
It's a great tip there for a lot of Overwatch players, especially at those lower ranks. If you can save that ultimate economy and build it not just for that one fight, but for the next fight and the next fight, don't just press your Qs because it's a fight you must win. You still have to win the next several fights. So it's a very smart, disciplined move there by Hades. And here we go now. Wyverns coming out with the brawl. Hades going to match here. We have matching compositions for both teams. Maywall's out, but Brightside is the one taking low to start, but Saya will be the first to fall. However, no Reinhardt now for Wyverns as Brightside is taken down. The May is isolated out here. Didn't you see me taken down? But so is Lunamare. The kills continue to trade, but with no tank now for the side of Wyverns here. Rune is... Whoa, what a turnaround there for Wyverns. Despite being at disadvantage, it looks like they might be able to squeeze this one out. And here we go again, the Cassidy duel on the point. Sorry there, Neil. And it looks like the Wyverns are going to take this fight.
Yeah, and it's a little surprising that fight was even close. Wyverns, they had the better rollout there. They got the better Maywall in the initial fight. They took up way more of the map space. I'm surprised it was even that close there. But Hades, they have tools to get back in. Flaming Fury is approaching the window. He might have it before Trisky. He's currently had an ult charge, but it's so rough with the wall here. Oh, but Hades, they're doing the rotate. Wyverns, they're a little bit late to react. The Rhine's not there. Hades, they make it out of the choke.
Pretty good wall there, briefly splitting the team, but it's not enough. And we see the Immortality field in from Flaming Fury, going to keep them afloat for a little bit longer on Hades. And there goes Brightside again, early in another fight. Brightside taken down. We see Blizzard and Deadeye now both from Wyverns here as they try to win this fight back. Lunamare takes down Didn't You See Me, another kill there. And that's going to be a fight win here, looks like, for Hades, as there's the stick onto Trisky with that grenade from the Cassidy. And that's a great fight win there for Hades.
Yeah, and that is brutal for Wyverns. Investing 3 ultimates, and I don't believe they got a single kill from any of them. Their Reinhardt was already down. They tried to turn the fight, but it didn't work out. And now because of this, they don't have any tools to get back in. Brightside's going to have to hit some nasty speed shatter or something if they want to get back in here. Fungin doesn't have the beat online. It's looking rough for them. Hades, they might just get the ult cycle going again. They're close to the Blizzard. They have the Noon up. A good wall come out from Wyverns, though.
A good wall from Wyverns, but a great wall also from Lunamare there. Earthshatter in from Brightside does not connect. Rune with the great block there. And we see Rune winning the Reinhardt duel again. Charge in right there. Rune running it down on Wyverns there, but the aggression will pay off. That is another fight win for Hades.
Yeah, and it's a fight win where they only have to use 1 ultimate too. They have 4 online, and Wyverns are still struggling from their poor ult investment 2 fights ago.
Another pretty good wall there. Rune with the ultimate here, looking to build that Earth Shatter. They might not need it though. The Blizzard is very strong. They're going to use the amplification matrix as well. That's just another clean fight win though for Hades.
Yeah, and the window maybe not needed there, but you still have to be happy if you're Hades, though. You now have the percentage lead, and you still have 2 ultimates online. The window, the Blizzard, the high noon that were used 3 fights ago now for Wyverns, only 70% is the highest percentage out of all those. Wyverns have 0 ultimates that get back in, but they're taking a different approach this time, and Hades, they didn't scout it out.
Great rotation there from Wyverns. The wall in is going to be great on Rune, who wastes the Earth Shatter, but a great play there from Wyverns. Sound barrier in from Saya as she tries to keep the team stabilized here. Hades trying to close this one out. The grenade sticking to Brightside. Brightside being kept alive through this fight. However, the charge in is going to find Poppy, and that is going to be a fight win there for Wyverns. A very, very desperate Wyverns team there who was able to pull that off despite that.
Yeah, and that fight wins a little bit of highway robbery there from Hades. Hades investing both the sound barrier and the shatter, but the shatter, it didn't go off. So really, really bad for them, because now Hades are the team with no ultimates to get in. They almost have the noon online. They're going to have it at the start of the fight, but Wyverns, those 3 ultimates that they poorly invested earlier, they have all of them to win this fight, and the shatter on top of all of it.
Going to be watching that shatter here. It could be a very crucial ultimate, but 4 online, like you said, for the Wyverns here. It looks like they scouted this one out, but they rotate back then. A more amplification matrix from Trisky, and there's the Blizzard. We actually see 3 ultimates there from Wyverns as they're trying to close this one out, and that is going to be a very strong fight win here. Hades going to have to scramble here to try to get back to this point. And I don't know, Needle. I think we're going to see that trickle game on pretty quick, and I don't think that's going to end well for Hades.
Yeah, I mean, they can't even touch, unfortunately, for them.
Nope.
And that, I mean, that from Wyverns, that's when you want to use the 3 ultimates, right? To secure a fight win like that, when they have the big percentage advantage and they know Hades are going to have to take a really, really bad recontest fight. I mean, they couldn't even make it. But that's the ultimate usage we need to see from Wyverns if they want to keep winning here. It was a little bit shaky on the last point of Busan on Sanctuary, and also a little bit shaky here on Mecha Base, the ult usage from them. They got to clean it up a little bit more, but they tie it up 1-1. Really close points so far. I'm interested into what comps these teams are going to play on the next map, though. It could be a Winston mirror again. We could even see the Wrecking Ball come out, and I'm interested to see if either are going to show us a new look. No, it looks like the Winston again.
And I'm not necessarily surprised by that. I like the Winston play for both these teams. Both were playing pretty strong on that. Was really impressed with Rune on that with the primal mechanics in the last round. But here we go. The health pack always the major meeting point here. And it does look like Wyverns are going to assume an early map control here. But Hades getting into position right now to start establishing themselves on the point. We're going to be watching Altair. Very critical role here. They are an uncountered sniper right now, so they will have free reign to shoot down onto Hades here. Hades stuck in a corner, and that is not where you want to be when there is a monkey with a taser.
Yeah, and I think that's a really poor decision from Hades. They go to the point, likely to LOS the Widowmaker instead of pressuring her, and they all bunch up in a small little corner, and Brightside cleaves all of them, and now he's 70 to Primal. So, not entirely sure why Hades do that. And now they're changing their approach. Lunamare has gone off the Sojourn onto the Reaper. Hades, their only form of long-range pressure onto the Sojourn is now the Winston closing the distance. And Hades, they're going to go coast again. Are they going to force another fight on point?
This is an interesting approach here from Hades, trying to run in on the core and basically ignore the Widowmaker here. So Altair kind of zoned away from this a little bit, but Altair will be able to find pretty much any angle they want. But that's going to be an early kill there for Lunamare with the counter on the Brightside now. So the Reaper, the Winston, a little less effective. Bunjin winning the Lucio duel here as the kills continue to trade on the point. The uncontested Widowmaker now going to go in and try to get a little bit more manual labor done on the point here, but they will fall here to Flaming Fury's Kunai's, and that's going to be a map flip for Hades.
Yeah, and that was a little bit of a sloppy fight there from Wyverns. Brightside going down really early. That play from Hades probably shouldn't have worked, and now we're seeing a Tracer Reaper mirror. Really, really surprising me. I feel like Sojourn is still valuable in this matchup, but both teams opting for the Tracer Reaper. Hades, they have the Kitsune Rush. It's a little bit ahead of Trisky's. If they go in early with it, they might just catch Wyverns off guard.
Right now, going to be watching that closely here. There's the Kitsune Rush. Trisky is beaten out on this one here by Flaming Fury. However, the dive in onto Trisky. Trisky is now taken down. Great play there from Hades, taking the initiative early and securing this fight quickly.
Yeah, but Wyverns, they have to be a little bit happy with that ult trade, though. They force the sound barrier out of Saya towards the end of the fight. Usually, using both support ults in a fight can be pretty bad in the mirrors with this comp. Wyverns, they have them both online. Brightside is going over to the D.Va. I am really shocked that they keep making these switches. I feel like they could at least take the mirror, but Wyverns, they're opting to adapt, and they're trying to counter maybe the damage from the Reaper and the Tracer or something? I'm not exactly sure.
Not entirely sure, but here we are. Maybe they're just getting hungry and they're hoping to catch themselves a nice pulse bomb. You never know. But Rune gonna go primal rage here right now. Funjin winning that support duel with Flaming Fury. Lunamare with the ultimate there, gonna be negated by that damage or by that defense matrix there from Brightside. But Brightside taken down now as well. And we see, however, a turnaround here from Altair trying to get this back into this fight, but it doesn't matter. Rune is still alive here. Excuse me, and kicking on the point, and it's not quite. I'm not quite convinced who's going to come out on top here, but it's another drawn-out fight for Wyverns. Here comes the sound barrier now from Funjin, and it does look like Wyverns, they might have what they need to turn it around, and they will.
Yeah, and they cap the point here, but the fight is not quite over yet. Didn't you see me? His pulse bomb, really, really crucial here. If he hits it, it will give Wyverns big momentum.
Wyverns have a ton of momentum. Pulse bomb in, not connecting, however, for Didn't You See Me at 53% and counting. We see that sound barrier right now for Saya. It's going to be the critical tool, the only tool right now for Hades as they get closer and closer to that Kitsune rush as well. Here comes the Kitsune rush for Flaming Fury, used immediately upon receipt of that ultimate. Here, they're going ham with the damage. Saya, though, taken down by Altair. Funjin, however, getting the favor, return. D.Va Bomb now in from Brightside, not connecting. Zones off the point briefly, but if you look in the kill feed, there's a whole lot of red in there right now as Hades continues to clean house. Point flip right now over to Hades as the overtime wick begins to go here, Needle.
Yeah, and Saya came back with a sound barrier too. There's just no chance Wyverns can get back into it anymore. A cheeky little stick there from Poppy. And like we see Hades come out with map 1. It's probably not what we expected, but they played that pretty darn well. I think what it came down to ultimately, though, was some big ultimate mistakes there from Wyverns. It was really, really unfortunate, their ultimate usage from them at times. And I think the biggest thing that turned it around there, Wyverns, when they recapped the point, they were forced to invest the sound barrier there from Funjin. And after that, they didn't have any way to sustain Hades and the brawl fights. And Hades, their comp brawls a little bit better. They're on the Reaper, and Wyverns, they opted to go to the Sojourn. The D.Va also doesn't brawl quite as well as the Monkey. Monkey Bubble's a really good cooldown in the brawl fight. So the long fight, it favored Hades. They built the support ults, and they were able to push back in with the Kitsune Rush. Really, really disciplined play from Hades there. And it's surprising to see from a team 0-3. They've been struggling. Like, they've been taking maps off of the teams that they've been losing to. But still, a really strong start for them in this match.
Yeah, Hades came out strong in this matchup here. A lot of people, especially in predictions, a lot of people expected Wyverns to kind of run away with this so far, but Hades coming out with a very strong start here on Busan. It's worth noting that they played Busan one other time this season in week 1, and they also won that map too, up in their first week against Just Better Inc. So this is not a first time we've seen Hades be successful on Busan. And that was just very strong. And I think the difference, many times, in many ways, it seemed to come down to just great discipline from Hades that ended up being critical to how they won these fights.
Yeah, it definitely did. And it's interesting, Hades in the last week, as well as this one, have been missing one of their DPS players. And last week they had a hit scan player ringing, and Poppy is the hit scan for Hades. So Poppy was forced to play the flex DPS, and it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation for them here. But Poppy going back, being able to play the hit scan in this match for Hades, I think is probably a little bit of the difference maker. He was forced onto the Mei last week. He's not forced onto the Mei this week. He's on the Cassidy, he's on the Tracer, and he's looking good.
Doing fantastic so far. Great matchup so far from both these teams. We're going to be heading now to Kings Row. That is Wyvern's choice here. Wyverns have been they have not been in this spot before where they've had to pick a map 2. If you're looking at their season so far, they did lose map 1 last week, and they went to Circuit last week. So a little bit of a different approach here. They're actually going right over to Kings Row, but it could be, like you said, they were really strong up against Wyverns when it came down to that brawl mirror. So you got to figure maybe that's kind of weighing on them here. Like, let's go to Kings Row. Let's try to force brawl on them. Let's try to brawl it out.
Yeah, they did win that point in the Brawl Mirror, which is surprising to me because, like I was saying at the beginning, Hades, they are mainly a Brawl team. They played the Winston too, and they played it pretty darn well on the 2 points of Busan that they were successful on, but their Rhine didn't look half bad. We see a few fights go, even a few kills go the other way around, and Hades would have won Busan 2-0. They would have won the Reinhardt Mirror. I'll be interested to see how it plays out in a longer map here. I'm also interested to see what hit scans are going to be picked for Hades and for Wyverns, because there are a few different options you have in the Brawl comp, right? You have Sojourn, you have Cassidy, you have Bastion, you have Hanzo, and I think it's going to be a battle of different styles if they opt to pick different hit scan picks, and I think that'll heavily impact the Brawl Mirror.
We were going to go into King's Row, but it looks like we have a little bit of a pause going right now. We'll wait and see what exactly is going on for both these teams here. So Hades, again, starting off this matchup 1-0 here. And again, a great start for Hades. I think a lot of people did not expect that going into this matchup because Hades, again, 0-3 coming in. Wyverns looked really strong at 2-1. Obviously, again, it's still early. And for Hades, you also have to sit and remember, they have lost every single match this season by a score of 3-1. So this is not the first time that they've won a map here in Tranquility.
Yeah.
So you gotta sit and wonder, like, is this just a bad sign for them, maybe?
For their sake, I really hope not.
I really hope not.
Yeah.
That would be crushing. The 3-1 curse is real, apparently. But it looks like we are back in now, and we, again, head over to King's Row. Taking a look here, it looks like Wyverns going to roll out on the Reinhardt here for Brightside. Hades pulling out a Reinhardt of their own with Rune, and we see Poppy doing the window peek. You got to figure, of course. But again, the Brawl Mirror is matched. And, you know, Needle, I think we've talked about this in the past with my feelings towards Brawl.
Mm-hmm.
I've always believed that when Brawl is in season, when Brawl is the meta of choice in certain maps, it's just a better Overwatch game. And you could correct me if you could tell me I'm wrong, but I don't care. I just love seeing big old Rectangle Man run it down middle.
Yeah, Rectangle Man, very funny character to watch. Shatter, very cool. When he Shatter 5, make me very happy.
Makes very happy.
Yeah,
I yell a lot. I yell a lot when he shatters 5. But here we go. Sorry to interrupt you there, Needle, but Brightside now on the Reinhardt here. The Reinhardt duel, always a favorite here to watch. And we see the Reinhardts again start swinging that hammer. Great May wall there from Luna Mare, matched here with a wall from Didn't You See Me. But again, both teams right now just trading out this early fight, the early point of a brawl, looking for that go trigger from both teams. A cooldown used and wasted, perhaps, is what's going to be key here. We see the immortality field, and that might be the go here. And it looks like it's going to be the go, actually, for Wyverns as they push in aggressively, and Ruin is taken down.
Yeah, and Hades there, they used the immortality field crucially before Trisky actually used hers.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, Trisky held the lamp longer, and that's a really, really important cooldown in the Brawl Mirror. They lamped, and they were able to push off of it because they knew Hades didn't have lamp. But another really important thing in the Brawl Mirror, windows. Really early windows. Flaming Fury has the window a little bit ahead of Trisky again. But Brightside, he's hiding for the Shatter. Oh no.
Oh, this is filthy. Oh no! Oh no, Hades! Oh my goodness, Brightside! Oh no! Brightside is a killer with that one there, and Wyverns with the team kill.
I see Rectangle Man hit 5 with Shatter. It makes me happy.
It does make me happy. It makes me real happy, Needle. I am sorry. I love me a good 5-personer Shatter. It's too good.
Yeah, and Wyverns here, they have the tools to keep the snowball going too. They have the Noon online, they have the window online. The defense could still be good here from them.
Here we go, window online. There's the window for Flaming Fury. An interesting stack of May walls popped up, but Altair is going to take care of everything with a Deadeye there. The Cassidy coming through there right for Wyverns. Fungin going to be taken down in this fight again, but Altair finding 3. However, the kills currently being traded out by both these teams, and that's a lot longer of a run back here for Wyverns, but Fungin, I guess, is back there. So we could see a quick fight here, though, for Hades.
Yeah, I would expect it. And the wall used by Didn't You See Me to delay the Inigate from Hades, not the best idea in my opinion. Hades, they're comfortable going through Hotel now with the wall of their own, and they're swinging out with the Noon.
Here comes the Deadeye right now from Poppy. You're going to zone out all of Wyverns there. It looks like Blizzard now in as well. Sound barriers from both teams. Saya uses theirs as well as Fungin. Fungin, though, very low right now, but it just is show of Altair right now. That's 4 for Altair. Altair denied the 5K by the overzealous Baptiste, but nonetheless, that is an Altair performance right there for Wyverns. Fantastic is what it was for the Cassidy 4K. Impressive.
Yeah, I think that was a really smart decision by Didn't You See Me to use Blizzard right after the Noon play, probably knowing that Saya used her amp to speed the Noon, and so they can't get out of the Blizzard, force Saya to beat, and after that, it was just all good for Wyverns. And Wyverns, they have the Noon online, and Brightside, he has the Shatter again. Rune might not be expecting it, but Fungin goes down early.
That's another early kill death there for Fungin. Deadeye in from Altair, not connecting with anybody right now, watching to see what Rune can do with this Earth Shatter. Both Reinhardt, but the Earth Shatter from Brightside is huge! And Brightside right there for Wyverns is going to win the fight for Wyverns with a huge Earth Shatter, winning the Reinhardt duel.
Yeah, and that is a great fight for Wyverns to win. They don't have any ultimates online quite yet, but they have to be happy with the hold they've held so far. And Hades, they only have 15 seconds to re-engage here. They might just have to do something risky. They might just have to go for a speed shatter play.
It looks like that's what they're just going to run it down, hope for the best. Wall is being used right there. Earth Shatter, it's a good one there from Rune. They're going to take down Brightside, only finding one with that because of that main wall, however. Overtime Wick is now ticking. Brightside very low. Immortality Field used from Rune here. Trisky with that amplification matrix, peppering through all of Hades right now on the point, keeping the Reinhardt afloat as well. But did you see me the first to fall with a kill feed is now all blue as Wyvern's going for that full hold. And it's Altair again, of course, finding 2 for Wyverns. A kill for Poppy there with that Dragon Strike, but it's just not enough. And that is all Wyverns with the full hold here on King's Row.
Yeah, and wonderful play by Wyverns there. What a statement from them. Busan was so competitive. Even in the Reinhardt mirror, it was so competitive. But they come out with a full hold, and they don't even give a tick. Not even a tick. Hades, they had an advantage at one point. They had the 5v3, trying to catch Wyverns back from spawn after they had 2 late deaths. Still, couldn't even get a tick from that fight. Hades, they had another good fight at the end here, when Rune could hit the Shatter onto Brightside. Fungin died early. Still, not a tick given by Wyverns. What an amazing defense from them.
Really, really strong defense there from Wyverns. Looking back through their history, this is the first time they have full held a team all season. Wyverns on this map type are, I believe, yes, they are 2-1 on this map type here. So great work there from Wyverns answering back. I mean, after Hades takes map 1 there, it's one of those situations where it's a great feeling to come back with a full hold there, just to mentally right yourself, because the mental can, especially if you're coming in as the favorite and you're kind of expected, a lot of people expect you to win, it can kind of be like, whoa, like what are we really gonna blow this? Are we really gonna lose this? And just come back with that full hold, that's everything for the mental right there.
Yeah, and it has to make Hades scared. Maybe they're have it hovering in their mind. We've lost 1-3 every single game so far.
Oh, no.
We
Is it
win map
happening again?
1. It was great. Map 2, we get stomped. Wyverns are doing Sim TV Bastion in Overwatch 2. Are they going to TV on top of the statue?
Is it actually going to happen in Overwatch 2? This is a bold move there. And the thing is why Hades scouted it out immediately, but we see a different approach here, heading over to the opposite end high ground here with that Sim TP. And just a very different approach. Why Hades handling it appropriately with the rotation here. This is me. Are Wyverns doing a bit of trolling right now?
They may be doing a bit of trolling, but it's not like this composition's bad into the Brawl Comp at all. Wyverns, they have the heavy poke with their composition. Fungin can off-angle really effectively on the Kiriko. It might just get random headshot kills. Brightside opting to force the point here. Gonna force Hades to play in the Bastion LOS, or at least near it.
Interesting take right now. I'm kind of flabbergasted with what I'm watching here. Rune, nonetheless, swinging on that point there, but the Bastion is completely uncontested on the high ground, and that is a lot of pressure to deal with for Rune, who's going to charge in and try to get back on the point, try to establish some sort of presence with Brightside, just nailing everybody with those spears on the point. And Rune, again, will find a kill, though, taking Didn't You See Me down out of that high ground. That's actually incredibly huge for Hades.
Oh, but Poppy goes down to Altair with a surprise switch onto the Widowmaker. Wyverns, Their comp plays slow, though. Hades have an opportunity to stabilize, and Flaming Fury with an amazing kill onto Trisky, trying to stop the momentum from Wyverns here. He has the window as well. They have tools to steer off Wyverns' aggression. The turret form goes up, though. Rune has to touch. He's low.
And Rune is able to be kept alive there by Flaming Fury with that Immortality field. Kitsune rush in is going to be met with an Earth Shatter there from Rune, and it's going to be stabilized out here. And Wyvern's not able to secure this one yet with 2 minutes left on the clock. Hades doing a great job right now, despite some interesting, perhaps, shenanigans here from Wyverns.
Yeah, and Wyverns, they're in danger now. They're opting to mirror the Brawl comp. They're probably going to do a full mirror here with the Cassidy. But now, they only have 2 minutes to cap, and their ult economy is shot. They only have the window online. Hades, they can absolutely control the flow of the game here.
Great May wall right there, though, however, from Did You See Me? Here's the Deadeye from Poppy on the high ground. Poppy just running it in and gets the kill on the Fungin there. Another early death from Fungin in this fight, and that's going to be pretty disastrous right now for Wyverns, it looks like, as Brightside goes down.
Yeah, but Wyverns there, they don't invest the window. They're probably going to have to try to accumulate a few ultimates here and try to burst out with all of them and try to catch Hades off guard. Hades, they close to the window again. They have the beat. They have the blizzard. Oh, this is going to be really, really, really close, this fight. I think it comes down to Brightside and if he can hit a shatter again or not.
Couple of May walls in, as long as, oh, Brightside did it again, but it's going to be neutralized out by that great sound barrier from Saya. Keeping her team afloat here is Hades. Hades still in this one right now. Amplification Matrix in from Flaming Fury. While everybody very low on Wyverns there, being kept alive by some fantastic footwork from Fungin and Trisky. But it's going to be Poppy right now, popping off with two. Deadeye right now on the point here, trying to find some target, but neutralized by that May wall from Luna Mare. And that is going to be another fight win for Hades. And Wyverns down to the last gasp here.
Are we going to see a draw in my Overwatch 2?
In my Overwatch 2, a draw on King's Row with no points taken?
Yeah, I mean, that would be crazy. But it all comes down to the battle of Rune versus Fungin. If Brightside doesn't block Shatter, Fungin needs to have the beat. Pause? Now? No!
A pause now? Oh, man. Of all the times for somebody to disconnect, that is quite possibly the worst. We're watching right now to see what's going on. Not really sure what happened, but nonetheless, we have a disconnect. And we're getting right back into it here, guys. Sorry about that one here. We're just building suspense here. That's what we're doing. It was a tactical pause right there. Maywall in there from Luna Mare. Earth Shatter. Oh, 100, didn't you see me? Who's absolutely crushed by Rune. However, Deadeye from Poppy fights too, and that is Beetle. You asked for a draw. You got yourself a draw.
A draw?
Wow. Wow.
I mean,
I do not believe what I just saw. That is crazy. Oh,
wow.
Man.
Well, I'm going to be honest, Yeti. I think Wyverns might have done a little bit of trolling, playing the Sim to be Bastion.
I mean, that was not the play. That was not the play for Wyverns, and it just, you hate to see it. You hate to see it for the Wyverns there. They had all the cards in hand, and now if you're Hades, the 3-1 curse is gone. They cannot lose this one 3-1. It's impossible for Hades to lose 3-1. The curse is over. So Hades now will actually have a different score here in Tranquility. But for them, they got to win just one map. And for Wyverns, it's effectively a reverse sweep at this point. They got to win the next two.
Yeah, and we were talking at the beginning of the attack round for Wyverns how it's a great mental bounce back for them. Full holding Hades, you know, after map 1 was pretty close, a narrow loss, might be kicking yourself a little bit with a few mistakes you made that turned it one way or the other. But now, after that attack, after they play the Sim TP for 2 minutes, and then they go to Reinhardt, and then they barely, narrowly lose when they only needed one tick, that's got to be a mental boomer.
I'm boomed. I just watched it and I'm boomed. But that being said, it's up to Wyverns to have to bounce back here and try to keep Hades out of the win column. Hades looking for the chance here to secure the big dub on stream. We got halftime coming up here. 10 minutes to come back. Everybody stay tuned. More Overwatch 2 right around the corner.
Let's dance.
Welcome back, everybody. Hades up 1-0 after the first 2 maps here in our Transcendence tier feature match. Once again, I'm Mr. Yeti, joined by Needle. We are having a, I don't know what exactly to call it. It's been an interesting start to this night here, and it got really interesting last map.
Yeah, first map, really competitive, really fun match to watch. I really liked how they played. Second map, I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
Second map didn't happen. We're on Dorado now. We didn't have King's Row. We didn't have King's Row.
I mean, technically by the score, we did not have King's Row. I mean, no progress, no points for anybody. It's basically just stat padding at that point. So, but in reality here, we have, again, Hades up 1-0 in this best of 4. So they really only need to get one more point, and Wyverns have to win the next 2. So Wyverns looking to try to reverse sweep this to keep this, or to extend the record out to 3-1. Hades trying to get in that W column for the first time here in Transcendence tier, and I have to say, you know, we talked about the matchup here tonight so far for Hades, and I'm absolutely been so impressed by the play of not only Poppy's been obviously stand up, but the support line for Hades. Saya and Flaming Fury have been fantastic at keeping an extraordinarily aggressive Rune alive and really keeping Hades afloat in this game. And that's been a big thing, because if you look at a lot of these fights, Brightside has been dying early, but the tank for Hades has been staying alive. The supports for Hades have been outstanding tonight.
Yeah, they definitely have been. I'm surprised here that Wyverns are going for Dorado with their map pick. They lost to Hades in the Winston mirror. I would expect them to play that again, but it looks like they've got something cooking. They have a Diva comp going here. So far with the Ashe, the Echo, probably expecting to see a Mercy, a Brigida Kiriko? That's a little surprising to me. I'm surprised that they don't have a Mercy. Okay, Brigana. Okay.
Let them cook.
They're cooking. Doing a little bit of cooking.
You know, we're cooking.
They're on defense here, so I would have expected them to actually like roll out with their comp. But this is it. They're locked in now. They're playing this, and I think it's a good idea for countering the Winston. They have Brig to just boop Rune away when he can engage. They have Sleep Dart as well. Diva, really good for denying the follow-up damage. They have the tools to stop the aggression from Hades that they were struggling with on Busan.
You know, and I will say this with Hades, or with Wyverns here, especially with Brightside on that Diva. Brightside, a very accomplished off-tank player from Overwatch 1. A lot of success over in BPL. Our friends over at BPL, Brightside saw quite a bit of success there in that role. So maybe some comfort, maybe some familiarity leaning in there for Brightside a little bit. Rune going to try to go up to that high ground, not able to find anything. Did you see me? And Lunamare, they are matching on the Echo, so the matching Echo duel here. So a bit of a different approach here from the Tracer Sojourn we've seen with both these teams. And we see the jump up to the high ground here with that soft pressure coming in from Rune, who's taken very low, but going to be kept afloat as Poppy is forced out here. Early trades, not a whole lot happening, but that we're going to see this business pick up real quick.
Yeah, and Hades, they're going to look to go back in here, going really fast. And Wyverns, they don't look exactly ready. They're going to have to start giving map space now. They still have the tools to deny the next engage from Hades, though. And Hades, they're falling really low. Flaming Fury is going to be building a lot of ult guards.
Flaming Fury getting that Kitsune rush up here very quickly. Rune going very aggressive. Bionic Grenade, though, is great from Trisky, and it's going to result in a couple of deaths right there. And Wyverns going to get that nice fight win with the cart in a pretty rough position. This is a tough fight now for Hades to try to engage into.
Yeah, and Hades going in there when 3 of their members were around like 60% HP. Probably not the best idea to engage, and a great punish there from Trisky on the Ana. She hit a big nade onto 2 people, and that's really all you need to just tear apart Hades' offense there. And the support ults, I was talking about how Flaming Fury could have done a lot of healing. Couldn't do the healing because the team went in and died. And now Wyverns, they have both support ults online, and they can bring the Brawl to Hades' Brawl comp.
Right now, the Brawl, we see with the support ultimates in hand, Wyverns with an advantage. The Ashe from Altair putting a lot of pressure onto Hades here as they're forced to peel back, and Lunamare goes down again early in this fight. But Poppy, you know, just with a little sneaky card, just a little sneaky, not anymore. No, get away, says Brightside. And Wyverns again with another fight win.
Yeah, and it's such a rough job for both Lunamare and Rune here. Lunamare playing Echo into an Echo that can get Brig packs, an Ashe, and a Diva, and Rune playing Winston into Brig boop, Ana sleep, and Diva boop. So it's just going to be really hard for Hades here to win any of these neutral fights. But they have ultimates online. They have the tools to get back in. They go in early. The sleep
Great
gets
sleep.
cleansed.
But Trisky, though, taken down after a great sleep. Pardon me there on that one there, Needle. We see Diva Bomb in right there from Brightside, not able to connect with anything. Kitsune rush in from Flaming Fury, getting Hades going very aggressive around the fountain here at point A. Flaming Fury taking down Fungin. Didn't You See Me is going to pop the copy here to try to stay afloat on point. Primal Rage used 800 HP of an Echo right now with Fists of Fury on the point. But it's not going to matter as Rune cleaning house right now on that Winston. Lunamare finishing off Trisky as well. We're watching Did You See Me, the last bastion of hope perhaps here for the Wyverns. We see them pushing out onto Flaming Fury here, but not able to finish them off. But that kill feed is just full of Hades right now and not so much on the Wyvern side. And that is going to be another fight win, it looks like, here for Hades.
Yeah, and when the fights get messy, it's going to favor Hades' comp, right? They have Lucio, they have Kiriko. Those characters can self-sustain and peel for themselves a lot easier than Trisky and Fungin on a Brig can. And I want to highlight those shots there from Lunamare onto Trisky when she was re-engaging. Absolutely crucial. Punishing the slight over-aggression from Trisky there kills her, and now Wyverns, they don't have the tools to sustain their stall fight anymore. And Hades, they get away with the cap on first point. Wyverns, they're now going to be mirroring the Tracer Echo, and life getting a little bit easier for Lunamare, who doesn't have to play into Ashe anymore. But still, this high ground is such a powerful bastion here for the Brig Ana of Wyverns.
Wyverns have a positional advantage right now on that high ground here with Hades trying to push in. Biotic Grenade in, not connected with anything. Lunamare, though, is down for Hades. And all the Wyverns right now extending that advantage with Trisky finishing off Rune. And that's a great fight win. And again, you talked about how strong this anti-dive is, and it's just it is so hard to engage into Wyverns right now.
Yeah, it is. You need a lot of tools to do it. And the biggest tools are probably going to be maybe the Kitsune Rush, the Sound Barrier, both of which Hades don't have online for this fight either. And they're probably not going to wait long enough for those ultimates to get online. They don't really have the time. They only have 2 minutes. The copy engage coming out from Hades.
Lunamare is going to pop the copy here onto the Diva, trying to build up that Diva bomb real quick, but they're going to get demeched instead, and immediately out of the copy is Lunamare. Going back in nonetheless here, trying to engage onto that high ground, but just really not able to penetrate in and actually cause any sort of disruption. Wyverns staying strong. Back into mech immediately, and that is going to be yet another fight win there for Wyverns, holding with this very strong anti-dive.
Yeah, and it's so hard for Hades, especially Rune, to get onto the high ground and stay there. Because Rune jumps up, and then Brightside is just in his face immediately, pressuring him out, forcing him to drop because he doesn't have enough healing. But Hades, now they can circumvent that problem. They have Sound Barrier, and they have Kitsune Rush online. They might be able to finally get in.
We see them going up to high ground here to try to perhaps engage in. The cart being pushed very slowly by Poppy right now, who's forced to move out there with that Biotic Grenade. Kitsune Rush onto the high ground here from Hades, being matched by the rally from Fungin, but Saya gonna find Trisky, so support down now for the Wyverns. Didn't You See Me is gonna copy the Kiriko here, looking to build a Kitsune Rush, maybe an accident, but nonetheless gonna get that Kitsune Rush up and running here. Kitsune Rush in from Didn't You See Me, but they're going to be immediately popped out of that here as Rune has popped that Primal Rage. Sloppy fight right now for both teams, going to favor Hades long term with that Sound Barrier. It looks like here Altair is very low with the Pulse Bomb in hand, but they will go down as Hades will continue this push.
Yeah, you have to be a little bit happy there if you're Wyverns that Saya was forced to use the Sound Barrier. Altair has the Pulse Bomb coming back. Poppy goes down, gets a little bit too aggressive, looking for the Pulse Bomb. Wyverns are back in this. They're winning.
They're winning. The Wyverns coming back into this here. Pulse Bomb from Altair, looking to connect with somebody here. Try to find a target, heading right in to the core of them. Not able to connect with anybody, but Flaming Fury is going to be taken down. Nonetheless here, overtime Wick is going, and Wyverns with a very good hold here just before point B.
Yeah. And that is a miraculous whip shot from Fungin, canceling Poppy's Pulse Bomb. Usually, as Brig, when the Tracer has Pulse Bomb, you want a shield so you don't die to it, but instead he just whip shot, and it worked because he stopped Poppy from using Pulse, and it started turning things around for Wyverns. So, I'm surprised that worked, but it did, and that helped Wyverns secure a good hold here. 74 meters isn't even the very end of point B from Hades, and they struggled so hard playing into the anti-dive on second point. It really is the most brutal point of the 3 for playing into Brigana. Brigana is so powerful on the second point there. And Hades, they didn't make any changes in their composition to adapt, and they didn't have enough time on the bank to win with ultimates. So, it's rough there, but they have to be happy at least getting past first point. They were struggling on first point too. And Hades, they're looking to play the same approach here. They're going to be playing the Winston comp again. Wyverns, they're showing this Reinhardt comp. I don't expect them to actually roll out on it, though.
I would expect them to definitely not roll out on that, but you never know. Wyverns have pulled out some very interesting choices, and we'll see if they decide to go the interesting route here again. We saw very interesting choices on King's Row, and it backfired, unfortunately. But we see now them teasing a Junker Queen, and I mean, they're just toying with us at this point, and we are not meant to be played with Needle, and I'm very disappointed. But nonetheless, Hades coming out here with the Tracer Sojourn and the Winston, and we get the right. You know what? Maybe we are. I don't know if we're being trolled. I don't really know what to say.
I don't hate the approach from Wyverns. They're going to be going and forcing the brawl fight here, going through the staircase. The early Sojourn there from Lunamare, and Wyverns, they're just rotating around. They're taking the high ground. Minor problem, Hades have taken over the cart. So maybe the favorable positioning here for Wyverns now, being on the high ground's nice and all, but if they're not touching the cart, I mean, they're going to have to drop to fight. Oh,
but Rune! Oh, no. With very aggressive positioning there from Rune is going to absolutely backfire. No tank now for Hades, and they're going to be forced to just flee at this point, and they are, with Wyverns very much. That is a very scary armored van, hey, Lunamare. You need to get out of there quickly. They do manage to do that, and but Wyvern's going to get a lot of push here. It's probably just one fight now for this point to be taken for Wyverns.
Yeah, and we're in a really interesting position here because we didn't really have a first fight, so no ultimates are even close to online. Hades, they're looking to go aggressive here. Altair on the flank, looking for Flaming Fury.
Poppy right now on this high ground, a little bit low with that recall still in hand. Wyvern's very clumped up right now, running aggressively with this brawl, trying to kind of play some sight lines here and try to get in onto Hades, but Hades doing a great job of staging out here and trying to stay alive, but Poppy getting it dropped by that headshot of Altair, and that is going to be a strong fight win for Wyverns. Wyverns pushing a very unique approach, but they're playing it really well right now, Needle.
Yeah, they definitely are. I don't think Hades are dealing with it well at all, though. We saw Rune get...
Whoa!
Whoa, big pin.
Body slam. Sorry, that caught me off guard. I was surprised, and I apologize. It's going to be Brightside just swinging the hammer through. That's another fight win.
Yeah, it is. And the ultimate invested there from Trisky, I don't know if she needed that one, but it's just going to secure them out here. Get Hades killed fast before they can get any more ult charge. And I think the reason this has been going so well from Wyverns, they've been playing it decently well, but Hades, we see Rune get caught out before the first fight even starts. Then we see Poppy get caught out while the second fight's going on. And it's just these little mistakes here for Hades. Once one of their players goes down, they're pretty much hopeless in the brawl mirror. And Wyverns, because they've been winning so dominantly, they have 3 ultimates online, they're close to the 4th one, and they, unlike Hades, are able to take the high ground. But now we see the same map flip that we saw at the beginning of point 1. Hopefully somebody from Hades doesn't instantly die this time.
That would be the ideal right now for Hades. They need to stabilize here. But again, Wyverns, this feels like the attack all over again. I know it's not the same, but it's looking so similar right now with the way they're positioned here. Wyverns just kind of waiting for that go button again. And right now, neither team is really doing... Okay, they go to the card here, try to get on the Winston, who's going to dive out right away here. Altair with this Deadeye in hand, going to be a huge threat, but it's going to be the Blizzard, actually, from Didn't You See Me? That's going to really do some damage here to Hades. Didn't You See Me taking down Lunamare. Sound barrier a little too late there from Saya. The stick in, not able to find Fungin there. While Altair right now with that Deadeye, going to take down Poppy. And that is going to be, it looks like just another fight win here for Wyverns. Just fantastic work.
Yeah, and cheeky little kill there from Flaming Fury, but probably not going to do much at the end of things. But Wyverns and Hades combined used 9 ultimates that fight. Yeti, there are no ultimates left on the board after that fight. That was a massive mess. And now we're back in the neutral. Wyverns, they could have taken the high ground here. They don't opt to, though. They keep 3 on cart. And Hades, they're going to have to make a pretty scuffed contest here. But Rune goes over to the Reinhardt. It's a Rein mirror now. But Hades, they're not playing Mei.
Oh no, and it's Brightside now pushing in, getting the charge kill on the Poppy. That's a rough start here for Hades. Flaming Fury very low, gonna be kept afloat just barely. Hades just hanging on by a thread on the health bars, but it's just not enough, and that's a point, that's a win there for Wyverns as we take it to match point here on Push.
Yeah, and that was, in all things considered, an okay attack there from Hades, but an amazing attack from Wyverns. And a pretty poor defense from Hades, too. They lose every fight. They lost every fight, that defense. They kind of just got rolled over by a brawl comp on Dorado. Not what we normally expect to be an amazing comp there, but Wyverns pulled it out, and they made it look good.
They did really, I mean, it's just a unique approach. It's something you don't normally see, but it just worked. And I don't know if it caught Hades just completely off guard, but sometimes you just got to kind of, there's the body slam again. I don't know why that just made me jump a little bit when I saw it, but Hades, it just didn't seem like they were ready for kind of a surprising approach from Wyverns. And it's not something you typically scrim against either in these kind of scenarios. So oftentimes you just kind of don't know how to approach it.
Yeah, it's definitely not. And I think we get to see a little bit of the struggles of Hades, how they have a ringer. I was talking about how normally their flex DPS player was missing for them last week, and their hit scan player had to play flex DPS. Usually, their hit scan player also plays Sojourn in the Tracer Sojourn comps. Poppy normally plays the Sojourn. Instead, he's playing the Tracer. Actually, I believe they might have switched the roles. I'm not entirely sure, but a little bit of inexperience on the Tracer showing for Poppy, I think. Getting caught out a few times there on the defense there from Hades was pretty rough, but I mean, Hades as a whole, they were not ready for the Brawl comp at all. And Wyverns, they played it masterfully. And now we get to see Hades. They're back on their first map pick of the series, and they pick Colosseo.
Colosseo is an interesting approach here because, again, we go to Push where you can really run a lot of things. You can run a ton of different varieties, but a lot of times it tends to be Rush, and it looks like we're going to get some Rush here. Or not Rush necessarily, but that Reinhardt Brawl Rush from Wyverns here, and they've just been winning the Reinhardt duels in general throughout the night so far. I mean, we talked about the possibility of Wyverns coming back in this and coming back 2-1 after that really disappointing start, and right now, there's a lot of momentum in their camp here, and you gotta figure they're just gonna stick to their guns. You know, hey, it worked. Let's just do it again.
Yeah, there's so much momentum. First map was really close. Second map, Wyverns kind of threw it away. Third map, it felt like Wyverns, they had their moment. They're like, now we will try. And then they just dismantled Hades on Dorado. Like, Hades didn't look hopeless at all. They still won some fights, but that attack from Wyverns being the most recent stain on the Hades mind, that's got to hurt the mental. And going into Colosseo now, you're in the Rhine Mirror, and you have to be worried. You kind of squeaked out the win on King's Row because Wyverns decided to go Sebastian for 2 minutes. And then you got a good ult cycle going, and you won the Rhine Mirror there. But did you really win the Rhine Mirror? On attack, you couldn't even get a tick. And it's going to be the Rhine Mirror here on Colosseo. I don't think either of these teams are baiting us. I think this is what they're going to roll out on. But we get to see a small difference from what was happening on King's Row, where Hades kind of got bodied on their attack. Both teams are going to be playing the Hanzo. Poppy is a very, very comfortable Hanzo player. It is actually his most played character. It's a really good character for him, and that might be the X factor that can help Hades turn around their Rhine Mirror struggles.
Right, absolutely. There's no doubt about that here. The Hanzo approach from Poppy, just again, it's a little wrinkle in these kind of things. It's very important sometimes. We see the Hanzo match from Altair here, so it's going to be the Mei Hanzo approach from both teams. We see again Mei Wall's already invested there as Poppy trying to find a pick off here. A lot of times it's just slinging logs down the lane. And that's going to be Rune, though, with the charge onto Function, who dies early in yet another fight. It's been happening a lot tonight, unfortunately. Maybe an uncharacteristic performance from Function overall here. And didn't you see me? He's going to find Flaming Fury on the exit here. Oh, goodness, there's 3 kills suddenly for Wyverns. Are they crawling back into this here, Needle? They're going to push back in.
Yeah, and we have the 2v2, but Rune can't really close the distance. He doesn't have enough health. He's only half HP. Saya, the only support there for him. Hades are going to be forced to back away, but it's not going to be much push here for Wyverns, probably. Hades, they'll regroup fast. Maybe Wyverns get about 20 meters, and then we're back to another fight. But Rune, crucially here, is 30% ahead on Earth Shatter. Brightside, I mean, he's probably checking tab. He probably knows Rune's closer. But Rune could get the Shatter mid-fight and bring a surprise hammer down.
Could absolutely be. It's a big one to watch right now to see if Rune can build that Shatter up. They're forced to shield and turtle up there. They're going to be dropped with a great May wall from Didn't You See Me? And that is going to be a pretty decisive fight when you got to figure here. Brightside still very low is going to be just kept alive there by Trisky with the big save. Altair very low too, but Trisky putting in the work there on the Baptiste. And that's another fight win.
Yeah, that's another fight win. And now we get to see the push effects, where Wyverns have 3 ultimates online. If they use them well, they get the checkpoint. If they save like at least 1 ultimate, they might even get more meters than that, maybe even 90 meters. Hades, they have to stop the momentum. Big Shatter coming out from Rune.
Oh, what a huge Earth Shatter there from Rune. But it's matched by Brightside, who pushes right back onto Rune there, followed up by that Dragon Strike. Another ultimate there with the Blizzard from Didn't You See Me? That's 3 ultimates there. You gotta kind of wonder, maybe a little bit of an overinvestment, but they do get that forward checkpoint, which is huge.
Yeah, and investing heavily to get the forward checkpoint is a somewhat valid strategy on push. You have to be happy if you're Hades, though. You take that fight before Wyverns get the checkpoint, so now they're not going to get much progress at all after it.
Very, very... Ooh, here we go. Good May walls there from both teams. Didn't You See Me? Stuck in the middle. Rune finding Didn't You See Me there. An advantage now for Hades as they try to turn this thing around. We see Dragon Strike there onto the bridge, and that's going to be a lot of damage in onto Wyverns here, and that is going to be, well, maybe not, but the Wyverns just kind of answering back here in these scattered fights. And Altair with 2 more kills. Altair on this Hanzo has been tearing it apart.
Yeah, we saw Fungin running away there, but Altair must have screamed, no, winnable, and he just decided to kill them all. And Wyverns, they're getting the snowball. Unfortunately for Hades, it's not looking good for them. They used 4 ultimates in that last fight, weren't able to come out with a win. They only have the sound barrier online. Wyverns have that, and the Dragon Strike. And Dragon Strike is so effective in this lane, this thin little bridge. Hades, they have to walk into it if they want to stop the cart, but they're just going to walk straight into the Dragon of Altair.
And here's the Dragon from Altair, who has been tearing it up. I'm sorry. But here we go. Brightside now in with the charge. Not able to connect, but we see Saya with the sound barrier. Fungin answering the sound barrier. Didn't You See Me? Taking down Rune. No tank again for Hades, and Wyverns at 110 meters. Borderline, we're getting to that point right now for Hades where panic is setting in, and it's just Altair just throwing the wood right at Hades right now. Altair just picking people left and right. I don't even know what to say. It's just been all Altair.
Yeah, and it comes back down to the Rhine duel here. Crucially here, the Shatter blocked except for Poppy. Rune has a Shatter of his own. He needs to come up big here.
It's unfortunate, not able to connect with anybody except for Trisky, but it does look like the turnaround is now on for Hades, but Altair still clicking heads right now, or whatever you want to call it on a Hanzo, but it's going to be finally a fight win here. Altair still not, no, they're not going down. Okay, they're finally dead. Finally, the Altair terror is over, and that is a fight win for Hades.
Yeah, and Hades is in a very, very impossible situation here. 135 meters on the board for Wyverns. Hades, not one. They're going to have to pull out a miracle here, but they have some tools to do it. They have the window online. They have the Dragon Strike online. We need to see hero plays come out for them. Flaming Fury, early kill on the Didn't You See Me? That's exactly what Hades needs.
And Dragon Strike was very good from Poppy, connecting with a ton of damage onto Wyverns. That's going to lose that forward positioning now for Wyverns here. Team Kill Horn is sounded, so Hades going to be able to get a nice solid start to pushing here. They might even be looking at a situation where they can finally, maybe with one more fight win, they can get that forward spawn and really start to push momentum in their favor, but it is a mountain to climb still.
Yeah, and the Team Kill Horn, actually not really what you want to hear on push here. No staggered kills, so Hades don't get much cart progress at all. Lunamare going in for the early Blizzard. Brightside's going to get frozen.
Brightside absolutely caught out, but it's going to be Luna Mare who goes down first with Bungeon, putting in some damage right there on the support role. Altair, though, on this high ground, on a flank right now, trying to find a target, but Poppy is going to find the kill there, and Poppy answering back onto Altair. We see Trisky with that amplification matrix, peppering damage onto Hades, but that is just not going to be enough, and Poppy's going to find a kill. The Hanzo players from both these teams picking up big, staggering kills on these fights.
Yeah, and it's possible here that Hades might actually get the checkpoint. Trisky died really late there because of the heroics from Poppy. Wyverns, they're looking to take the engage without the Batiste. They might have to use Sound Barrier to engage. They're just going to stall the cart from the high ground. Oh, no, they're dropping.
Oh, they dropped in. Didn't you see me with the wall there to kind of split apart the team a little bit? And we do see now, yes, they are stalling from the high ground here. It's actually very tough, and now full team is in play here. The positioning is actually kind of amazing right now here.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one from Hades is trying to take an off angle. Instead, they just stack 5 on the card. It's looking hopeless for Poppy, but the early kill, Bungeon goes down early once again.
And that, you know, in the end, it doesn't matter. If your Hanzo gets picks, your Hanzo gets picks. We've seen that already for both these teams. Rune with Earthshatter in hand, and it's a great one, taking Brightside down. And, oh, you know, hey, I guess it's about sending a message sometimes. They might regret that, though. They might regret that. Oh, they will regret it. Oh, no. The Blizzard is huge from Didn't You See Me? And that is going to be a fight win there for Wyverns, and that is backbreaking right there for Hades' momentum.
And that is such an unfortunate mistake there from Hades. Rune going off the map. They might have lost anyway with Didn't You See Me coming back in there with the Blizzard, but that has to hurt the mental. They don't even get the checkpoint. That's what they needed. The heroic push, it was coming out. Poppy on the Hanzo was taking over, but they don't get the checkpoint, and now it's looking so rough. They have to stop Wyverns here. They cannot let Wyverns win this fight, but Wyverns have so many ults to do it.
Wyverns do have a ton of ults right now. Altair going to use that Dragon Strike here very early on. Not a whole lot of damage, ending up taking on to Hades there. So we see Shatter in, gonna find Rune and Flaming Fury. Altair on the Hanzo, putting in a ton of damage right now. Sound Barrier in from Saya, but it's just not enough to stabilize for Hades here as Wyverns are on the hunt, sending them all the way back to spawn as Brightside going all the way to the spawn door before maybe just having a little bit more discretion there. And here comes the it's just Altair again. It's Altair again. It's Altair again, Needle.
It is Altair again, and it's looking over here for Hades. The Blizzard Kite is amazing from Wyverns. The lamp placement, great, and Trisky's probably going to look to re-engage with the window here, but Brightside goes down. Hades, they're not bowing out yet.
Hades not done with this one yet. Looking for that amplification matrix here from Trisky to try to secure this one and take this one home. But we see we do not see Sound Barrier. I misheard that verbal cue, but that said Rune is going to sweep through the rest of Wyverns here and get that cart going back in the opposite direction. But again, it's still such a steep mountain to climb right now for Hades. And really, you got to figure this is probably their last real chance. It's almost impossible to push this far in overtime.
Yeah, and the biggest just nail in the coffin here is that Wyverns are approaching Blizzard. Blizzard is a very, very effective ultimate in overtime as well in the Rhine Mirror. The window comes out early from Wyverns. They're going to hold some space here, but they don't find any kills off of it. The Shatter blocked, and Rune goes down.
Unfortunate there for Hades. That was really, they needed them to stay alive here. And taking a look at Wyverns, they still have that forward position. They didn't relinquish that whole time. We see Hades going down quickly in this fight, trying to get 5 back. And now Hades is looking at a situation where they probably have to win maybe 5 fights in a row. And there's just there's so many ultimates coming up for Wyverns. It is almost impossible at this point for Hades, but you can never, the stranger things happen.
Yeah, they certainly have, but it's looking all but over here. Flaming Fury going for the hero play with the window. 2 members of Hades down. Poppy finds Altair, though. He might be able to turn things around.
Poppy's going to have to come up real big right now. Cart is contested. Saya dropped on the cart here. Cart's really close to finishing out, and that's just the exclamation point right there on a fantastic map 4 for Wyverns, going down 1-0, backs against the wall against a desperate Hades team trying to get into that win column here in Tranquility, but it's just too much Altair, too much Wyverns, and Wyverns come back and they take this match 2-1.
Yeah, and wow. What an amazing turnaround there from Wyverns. Map 1 looked so competitive. It was so back and forth. I believe the losing team for the control points got at least 80% each time. And then we go to King's Row, and Wyverns make a statement, completely full holding Hades. Don't give them a tick. And then they do a little bit of trolling, and we get the draw. But then we get to see Dorado and Hades. They're bringing a little bit on their attack. They look like they have potential for the series to still be close. And then Wyverns, they pull out the unconventional composition, absolutely wipe the floor with Hades. We get the Brawl Mirror. Hades going back to the Brawl Mirror. Didn't go well for them on King's Row. Maybe it works out this time. And they get their floor wiped again. 135 meters in 5 minutes of push. Just an impossible situation to come back from. And Hades, they did their best to come back from it, but it was already too far gone at that point.
It was just far too much there for Hades to overcome after just a really strong performance there from Wyverns on Coliseo. You got to give credit where credit's due. It looked like at a point here this was Hades' destiny to win this thing and come back here and get that first W in there. But at the same time, if you're Hades, these matches have all been close. They just haven't quite pulled out the win in any of their matches so far, despite very close results. And I know 0-4, that's tough to look at on the record, but you gotta be happy with a lot of the things you saw tonight. And there's going to be a lot of good things when they look back at this match later. And it's one of those things where it just slipped out of their hands. And it kind of brings me to my point here in the end. My personal kind of most valuable player tonight here, in my opinion, it's the player who just stepped up in crucial situations, and that's Altair. Altair, my player of the match tonight.
Yeah, and I think after that last map, I think it's really reasonable to give it to him. He played amazingly. But I really want to shout out Trisky. I feel like whenever we went over to her POV, she was doing really amazingly on BAP. I think a lot of BAPs in Masters struggle with the balance of when they should heal and when they should do damage. And whenever I was watching Trisky play the character, she was doing a great job of balancing them. She was playing really, really well. I think she had some crucial shots that she hit that turned some fights around. So I have to give it to her.
Absolutely. It was a really great performance there from Wyverns, rallying back in a tough situation there, getting that mini reverse sweep here and taking the match 2-1. It was an exciting night here in Tranquility in the Transcendence tier. That's week 4 down for the Transcendence tier here in stage 1, and a lot of very, very fun matchups out there that we watched throughout the night tonight. We saw some great matchups again, seeing Throwing Her Bad pick up a big win over Revital here was one of the highlights, I think, so far. Billings Boomers picked up a 3-1 over Hive Mind Halifites. So some big matchups there for some teams looking to kind of secure that spot for stage 2 moving into that. But it has been a fantastic night here, Needle, and there's still a lot to come so far here in Tranquility. The rest of the week, tomorrow, we have our feature match here in the Discord tier, which should be a fantastic one, and that is between 2 teams, and I don't have it in front of me right now because I am very prepared, but it is Redacted, I'm sorry, not Redacted taking on Paradise Lost, that is the old one here. It is SEAL Team Spuds taking on Cosmic Castaways, and then again on Saturday, as a reminder, we also have Bronze Banter. It's your deep dive into the Harmony tier. And again, Sunday after scrims with Thuggington, where we announce our next members of the Tranquility Hall of Fame. But thank you again very much, Hippie and Unfeatured, on production and observing tonight. It has been a fantastic night. Thank you both of them for their awesome work as always. And Needle, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
It has been.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.